Hey YouTube, this video is going to be on a cylinder like I haven't seen before, and it's just going to be a real quick how to take it apart. It's not going to be how to repack a cylinder. There's a million videos on that type of thing. But on my Kubota, I've got this, I don't know if you can see it there in the sunlight. It's a L4560 Kubota Backhoe, and it looks small. It's fairly small, but it does a great job for a no, not really 3-point hitch. It's a frame mounted machine. Me and Dad were pulling a lot of stumps with it here lately. Anyway, let's see, last spring this cylinder right here started leaking terrible on us. First time ever having to take one apart. Don't know anything about, other than hooking up hydraulics. Never had one apart. So we took it off the machine, and we could not figure out how to take that off for the life of us. The gland on the end is not a threaded type that you screw in. What it ends up being is what they call I'm going to screw this up, a square wire retaining clip. And I'm going to show more to you about that in just a second. But let's take a quick look over here. And if you can see on the end of this nub, or cylinder, now this one's 1.5 inch cylinder diameter, and the one that we had problems with this spring was 1 3/8 inches. I was surprised they had two different sizes. So if you've got one that looks like this and it's got a slot right up here, and yours may or may not have this little pin, then yours is not threaded. It'll sit there and this gland will spin and spin, but it won't come out until you get this square wire retaining clip out of there. I'm going to show you how we do that in just a minute. Oh, and by the way, once that's in there, to keep this gland from turning, they put in this little rivet, and that's a whole nother bone of contention. All right, so the one that was 1.5 inches. The one that's 1 3/8 inches is the one that lifts and lowers this whole boom assembly. I don't know which one's called the boom. Anyway, it's the one that goes in here. Okay, so here's the cylinder and the vise. This one's got an 1 3/8 inches diameter cylinder, where the other one had 1.5 inches. Doesn't matter. And so I'm going to try to get some light here. I'm going to show you down in that groove. That's all you're really going to see of that piece of wire that's holding that in there, that square wire. And it's got a little hook on the end. The hook goes down into a hole. That is not the end that you try to pry up and bring out first. You want the other end. That end is going to stay in there. And let's see, from the end of that, right there where it turns into a 90 and it goes into a hole down in the gland, from there to the right, you can see that it kind of runs around and wraps around, in this case, clockwise. That means to get it out, we've got to turn this gland counterclockwise. Now, I want to show you one more thing, and that is that pin I told you about that was in the top. I think you can see that. It's kind of like a rivet, but it's not really threaded, but it does have like a tapering thread almost. I put vice grips on that, and as I was trying to pull it out, it wasn't pulling straight up out, and I realized it was twisting out like it was threaded, but they're not what you'd call conventional threads. Reminds me of those old concrete nails. Anyway, let's get back to that wire. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I put a little screwdriver in there. I didn't even have to hardly pry up. I started to turn that gland and I got the end of the wire right there. I don't have any fancy videoing equipment, so I'm going to actually push down on this wrench with my arm. Oh yeah, I'll get that screwdriver out of there and watch this thing work its way out. See that? And why do they call it a square wire retention? Whatever. That's exactly what it is. Okay, I'm gonna take this out and see what happens next. Okay, here's exactly what I was talking about. Just about done. And of course you saw that fall out. That's not good. Come over and get this thing, that'll have to be cleaned off. Anyway, there's that little hook in the end I was telling you about. Let's see if I can focus on that. Yep. So when you go to put this in, you'll put it in with that little hook down. And I assume you can do it from either side. Oh, in this case, my hole is right over there. So that'll catch in that hole. You see that go down in? And then you would turn that gland. In this case, it would be counterclockwise to pull it back in. Okay, but that's how that comes out. And in theory, now I should be able to pull on this cylinder. Oh, and here's the other thing. So you got, I know inside this gland, you got different seals, but this outer one I think is called a wiper, and on the inside you've got your gland seal. But you see that wiper? It looks like it's missing a big chunk right there. And it was a slow leak at first, so I think it just deteriorated quickly. And yeah, anyway, so I ordered a new seal kit from Kubota, in particular Messick's, online. They seem to have a good assortment of parts diagrams and all that stuff. I'm not affiliated with them, but they make this a lot easier. Let's see if I can pull this one. Oh, hey, did you see that? Alright, I'm going to do that a couple more times and this should come right apart in theory. Hold on, be right back. Okay, well that was the extent of my good luck. I ended up having to get a little wedge and go in from this side and this side, back and forth, top and bottom. That bugger's in there, holy cow. But I think I got it at a point now. I can give this maybe a quick tug. See what happens one-handed here. Oh, you saw it move. Oh, get that pushed in there. Alright, I gotta put this back down a second. Okay, well it just came shooting out like a rocket after a couple pushes and pulls. And I'm gonna have to make sure I buff that thing just a little bit on the edges. I don't think I heard anything being out of round. And that's it, that's just the cylinder. Sorry. See, it's getting hard to focus here. Yeah, I gotta just clean things out, make sure there's no sharp edges. But anyway, what you're interested in probably is this. There's the cylinder. Here's the back end. Yeah, all these, I'm gonna replace all of this. Yep. And right here, there's, oh, there we are. Whatever outer seal this is, yeah, you can see that poor thing's destroyed. And then you get into taking this off by getting back here and taking that nut off, sliding this off, sliding this off. Then you can get at this wiper and then the gland seal inside. But I'm not going to show you that because there's a million videos online with guys that know what they're doing with much better techniques than me. Big thing I just wanted to show you is that square ring retention retainer, square wire retainer. My apologies. And how that worked, because yeah, it really baffled me the first time I did this. And you know, that was stuck a little bit. You can see that's actually rusted, which I don't know how corrosive hydraulic fluid is. I wouldn't think so, but anyway, that was in there pretty good. So I'm gonna clean all that rust up, clean those edges up. Anyway, hope somebody found this helpful. Yeah. Anyway, talk to you later.